Okay, let's talk about something huge that's happening right now. A massive shift in our economy that most of us are right in the middle of and might not even see. It's all about how the power that used to belong to money, well, it's moving over to something completely different: data. Let's dig into what that actually means for all of us.
So, to really get this, we have to go back to 2015. There was this puzzle, a real head scratcher, involving one of the biggest names from the early days of the internet. And figuring out why this giant was stumbling is the key to understanding, well, pretty much the future of our entire economy. I mean, picture this, it's eBay's 20th anniversary. They should have been on top of the world, right? We're talking 160 million active users, over $700 billion in transactions, a total titan. But instead of celebrating, you had Wall Street basically saying, yeah, the magic's gone. This whole thing needs a reset. Ouch.
And get this, it wasn't just eBay. Around the same time, Yahoo's stock was trading for less than the value of its own assets. Just think about that for a second. The market, which is supposed to be this all-knowing force, was basically screaming that this massive company was worth less than zero. These weren't just little flukes, they were huge cracks appearing in the system. So here's where it gets really interesting. You've got eBay built around price and auctions, and it's struggling. But then you have this newer company, a French carpooling service called BlaBlaCar, and it's just exploding. And its secret sauce wasn't about getting the cheapest ride. No, it was about using tons of data to find the perfect match, right down to how chatty you want your driver to be. And that contrast, right there, it points to a fundamental flaw in how we've thought about markets for, forever. We've been leaning on this one single, kind of crude piece of information, and it's starting to break down. You know, for thousands of years, price has been this really clever hack. It's a workaround. It takes this whole universe of details, quality, how rare something is, demand, your personal taste, and just squishes it all down into one number. We had to do that, right? Because sharing all that raw info was just impossible back then.
But here's the problem with squishing everything down. That compression is lossy. It's like taking a beautiful high-resolution photo and saving it as a super pixelated JPEG. All the crucial details, the nuance, the little things that lead you to the perfect choice, not just an okay one, they all just disappear into that one single number.
So, what if we don't need that grainy JPEG anymore? What if we can finally see the full picture? In an age where information is everywhere, we can build a much, much better market. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay, this story about fishermen in Kerala, India is a fantastic example. Before 1997, their life was a total gamble. They'd sail to a port hoping for a good price, but half the time they'd find the market was flooded. Prices would crash and they'd literally have to dump fish into the sea. Meanwhile, just down the coast, another port might be desperate for fish. Then, mobile phones arrived. Suddenly, a simple phone call before they even docked changed everything. That tiny bit of data stabilized the whole market and pretty much ended all that waste overnight. Amazing. And that brings me to something really important. We've all heard that saying, data is the new oil, right? Well, it's a great soundbite, but it's totally wrong. Oil is something you hoard. Data is the new grease. It's the lubricant that gets rid of all the friction and makes the whole economic engine run smoother and faster than ever before. So what happens when you pour all this grease into our old, creaky markets? Well, something amazing. They start to get smart. They become these adaptive, personalized systems that are just way more powerful than the old, price-only versions. Think about buying something totally mundane, like a new frying pan. In a smart, data-rich market, your little digital assistant, or whatever you use, already knows you rated your last pan just average. It sees your review, it knows you like ceramic coatings and a certain kind of handle, and because it knows you care about the environment, it even calculates the carbon footprint of the delivery options. Then, poof, it scans the entire market and finds the one perfect pan for you, probably before you've even finished thinking about it. And the end result isn't just that it's faster, it's actually better. It sidesteps our own weird biases, it doesn't fall for slick advertising, and it finds the thing that lines up with what we truly value, not just whatever happens to be on sale. Okay, so this huge leap in market efficiency, it does way more than just change how we buy frying pans. It actually starts to shake the foundations of the other huge pillar of our economy, the company itself. So for centuries, really, we've had two main systems for getting big stuff done as a society. You've got the market, decentralized, chaotic, information flying everywhere, individuals making choices. And then you've got the company,
Centralized, hierarchical, information flowing up to the boss, decisions coming down from the top. Command and control.
The whole reason companies even exist is because, historically, they were just better at coordinating really complex projects than a messy market was. But here's the big disruptive question. If data can make markets super efficient coordinators, if it can get rid of all that mess and friction, then what's the point of a rigid top-down company anymore?
And that question, that challenge to both markets and companies, well, it tells us we're moving into a whole new economic era, one with a completely new source of power at its center.
For the last couple of centuries, the name of the game has been financial capital. Money. Money was power. Money was what you needed to get things done.
That's not the rule anymore. Now, the real power and value isn't just about having money, it's about being able to use information. The new organizing principle is data capital. And that's what defines this new age we're in. We're officially leaving the era of financial capitalism and entering the age of data capitalism. It's a system where the most valuable thing you can have isn't a pile of cash, but the ability to effectively use information.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the fundamental rules of the economy are being completely rewritten right under our noses. The very foundations we've always stood on, markets based on price, companies based on hierarchy, are being rebuilt from the ground up on a new foundation of data. And that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. In a world where a system can know what's best for you, where it can make faster, more logical, better informed choices on your behalf, what's left for us? What's the role of human choice, of gut instinct, or even just our right to make a messy, beautifully human mistake?